What's up, folks? It's your bro, Richie here again. Today in this video, I'm back with another Fast and Furious car video for you guys. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about one of the most iconic sports cars ever in the Fast and Furious franchise. This is still part of the first movie, and today in this video is going to be a good one. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS. The 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS from the first Fast and Furious movie. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you literally don't want to make brand new uploads. Alright. So without any further ado, let's begin. So the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS from the Fast and the Furious 2001. Here we go. 60 seconds, so let's do it. So the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS is a customized sports car. So customized sports car manufactured by both Diamond Star Motors and Mitsubishi Motors. The Eclipse is driven by excuse me. The Eclipse is driven by Brian O'Connor, and plays a minor role in the Fast and Furious 2001. May rest in peace, Paul. So he was played by Paul Walker. May rest in peace. The Eclipse is driven by Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor. Rest in peace. May rest in peace, Paul. We miss you, buddy. So the Eclipse is driven by Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, and plays a minor role in the Fast and the Furious 2001. Overviews next, so let's begin. So the manufacturer is obviously by both Diamond Star Motors and Mitsubishi Motors Corporation. The make is obviously Mitsubishi. The model, the note says it's an Eclipse GS, but technically it was an RS because this car was owned by John Lappet, and he already had like the body kit onto it. It was pretty cool. So it was an RS, not a GS, so it was an RS model. Production year was from 1995. Model status says discontinued, unfortunately, but well, I mean, what can we do? And body and chassis next. The class is a sports compact car. Body style is customized. The engine as a 420A, so 420A. So there's a Chrysler 420A neon engine. So it's a 2-liter. So 2-liter DOHC, so dual overhead camshaft, 16 valve inline 4, which the note says it makes at least 210 horsepower, but in reality it just makes like 140, 150 horsepower, so there's no way in hell you can literally get like 210 horsepower. Now with like the mods that it had, which I'll get to in a minute. So engine is a 420A neon. So it's a 428. So it's a Chrysler 420A neon 16 valve DOHC dual overhead cam engine. So 2-liter inline 4, making, it says 210 horsepower. So but it just in reality it makes like 140, 150 horsepower. But 210 horsepower, that's pretty good for a sports car like that. Body mods, it's equipped with a Robocar Armor Eclipse body kit. Specialty mods include Sparkle Racing seats. The wheels are 18-inch Access Model 7 wheels by Access Sport Tuning Incorporated. Not sure if they still do those wheels or they're still around, but oh well. Tires, tires are Toyo 225 40 018 tires. Suspension mods, this is a stock, but presumably there is some kind of different mods to suspension, but let's find out. So, character information is next. The driver is Brian O'Connor. So Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker. May rest in peace. So character information. Driver, Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker. May rest in peace. The uses for street racing and uses for both street racing and helping Dominic Serrano, played by Vin Diesel, evade the LAPD. The status is destroyed. We all know how it happens. Johnny Tran just trashes the car. with its cousin Lance. The films is from the Fast and the Furious 2001. Similar cars to that is the 2003 Eclipse Spider GTS. So 2003 Eclipse Spider GTS from the new 2003 movie, Too Fast and Furious. So when they were filming Too Fast and Furious, they had a new 2003 Eclipse there at that time. Anyways, moving on. So now we got history. So the Fast and the Furious 2001. Here we go. So under the alliance, under the alliance Brian Earl Spillner, because he was Brian Earl Spillner, because he was once originally from Arizona. Brian O'Connor used the Eclipse in preparation for his first street race. He practices driving in the Eclipse at the parking lot at Dodger Stadium, but can't keep the car from spinning out of control. Despite complications, excuse me, excuse me, despite complications experienced earlier, Brian decided to participate in the street race to win the favor of Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel. During the race, during the during the race, during the race, the Eclipse's intake manifold began to overheat from an overcompensation of NOS used in the car. Brian ignored the warnings and continued to use the NOS began until the car began to fall apart. He managed to beat Edwin, played by Ja Rule, and Danny Yamato, played by R.J. Devera, but eventually lost control of the car. He lost to Dom. he lost to Dom, who won the race, both the race and the pink slip. And a pink slip to the Eclipse. Dom was later rescued by Brian, who used the Eclipse to evade the cops, to evade the LAPD in pursuit of the illegal street racers. Without knowing, Brian drives the Eclipse into Little Saigon, Johnny Trans's territory, played by Rick Yoon. So Johnny Trans's territory, played by Johnny Trans's territory, played by Rick Yoon. Tran admires the wrench work put into the Eclipse before destroying it in a surprise shootout with his cousin Lance. That triggers a massive explosion in the engine. This is a canister of NOS, or nitrous oxide, that were in the car, and the Eclipse gets obliterated. But nitrous oxide doesn't explode. It's not a grenade. It's just flammable. It's an oxidizer. Although the Eclipse was legally registered to Brian L. Spillner, it was funded by the LAPD FBI task force. In the aftermath of the car's destruction, Special Agent Bilkins complained about the $80,000 price tag. But with those light modifications, there is no way in hell that Eclipse would have cost 80 grand. No way. I mean, at least like 40, 50 grand? Yeah, probably, yes, maybe 45. But 80 grand? But 80 grand? No way. There's no way. I mean, with those kind of performance mods, there's no way it would cost that much money. No way. No way, no hell. Alright, next up we got is specifications, which not really much onto it, but it's decent enough. So according to the Fast and the Furious, specifications. According to the Fast and the Furious, the official car guide, written by Eddie Paul, the 95 Eclipse has a 420A 16 valve dual overhead camshaft, 2-liter inline-4 engine, rated at 165 horsepower before the turbo. But in reality, it didn't really have a turbo. It was just naturally aspirated. It has a full robocar Aero Armor Eclipse body kit, custom made carbon fiber front splitter, a custom GT style roof scoop, G an APR level 2 GT style rear wing, carbon fiber mirrors, 97 spec Eclipse headlights, and green neon lighting. Um, alongside access uh 18-inch wheels by Access Sport Tuning Incorporated, known as the Access Model 7s. So the Access Model 7 wheels in 225/40 018 Toyota tires. Alright, now moving on to engine spec. So, yeah. Didn't show enough memory because I left it there for so long. Anyways, so now moving on to engine specs. So there's not much going on to it at all. So the car had a rebuilt version of the Mitsubishi 2-liter DOHC, so dual overhead camshaft, 428 inline 4. It was naturally aspirated, so had no turbo at all, no superchargers, just absolutely nothing at all, just bone stock engine, naturally aspirated. Like if I were to get an Eclipse RS like this one, I would do exactly the same as a replica, but this time I would do like technically a turbo kit to it as well. I will do the parts that was mentioned in the movie, along with some parts that it actually did have. So I'll do like kind of like a 1-2 combo, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, so for engine specs, the car had a rebuilt version of the naturally aspirated Mitsubishi 2-liter DOHC 420A inline 4 engine. So it had a rebuilt version of the Mitsubishi's 2-liter naturally aspirated DOHC, so dual overhead camshaft Chrysler 420A inline 4 engine. Not the best engine in the world, to be honest, but I mean, 1463 would have been great, but just left with this stubborn, absurd 420A. What were Chrysler thinking of when they did that engine? In fact, what were they thinking of when they put the engine in the Eclipse? Anyways, so yeah, along with the naturally aspirated Mitsubishi 2-liter DOHC, so yeah, dual overhead camshaft, 420A inline 4, which was rebuilt. It was naturally aspirated, no turbos. It was supposed to have a 75 horsepower nitrous kit, but it was really never fully installed. In fact, it wasn't even functional at all. It was only just for looks, just for show. Along with that, the car had excuse me. Along with that, the car had a hotshot header, an engine cold air intake system. So an engine cold air intake system, a bored out throttle body, and upgraded spark plug wires. And I think it might have had an HKS exhaust system to it as well. I'm not too sure. Anyways, sorry. As you just heard just now, performance-wise, not really interesting at all. I mean, not much going on to there anyway. But, well, it's just for the movie purposes. But, heck, if you want to do engine swap, you can do it. Man. I'm totally the mind. 1463 if you wish. Whatever suits the best, just go with it. Along with that, let's move on to the styling. The car had a full RoboCar body kit, which includes front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. And it had a custom fabbed lower front splitter, which was carbon fiber, which was not even used in the movie. Whenever it looked at with carbon fiber, it would have been great. Along with that, the car had an APR GT2 style rear wing, a custom roof scoop, which wasn't even functional, carbon fiber racing style mirrors, 1987 style Eclipse headlights, and the car was painted in Kawasaki green with modern image decals. As for the tires, wheels, brakes, and suspension, the car had 18-inch Originally, the car was supposed to have 19-inch ADR M Classics, which is what John Lappett's car had because he was the owner of the car. But they were just like not used in the film because it just cost too much, like 10 grand a set probably. And it just wouldn't really do well for the ride because like the huge wheels, they would just close up the wheel gap. So they had to dumb down the price. So had to dumb it down and just to get cheaper wheels, and that would make the ride height a little bit different and like the wheel gap different as well. So instead of the 19-inch ADR M Classic wheels that John Lavin had, which were just super damn cool, the car instead used 18-inch Access model, 18-inch Access model, so 18-inch Access model 7 wheels, which are pretty cool. ADRs were not used, the Access model 7 wheels were used. I mean, totally doesn't matter what wheels are the best. I mean, they're both cool, or just like, doesn't matter which ones are used, they're just still cool. If I was to get a replica Eclipse, I would get both those wheels. I'll change it up at different occasions. I don't know. Say it was supposed to have 19-inch ADR M class, so 19-inch ADR M classic wheels. Say 19-inch ADR, so 19-inch ADR M classic wheels, but they were not even used in the film. Instead, they used 18-inch Access Model 7 wheels. Along with that, the car had AEM cross-fueled front brake rotors with a standard 5-speed manual gearbox, and along with that, it also had Tanabe SS springs and energy suspension bushings. Next up we got is the interior. The car had custom made it had custom black and gray suede upholstery and custom made A-pillar gauge mount pod and a passenger dash 3 gauge holder. Along with that, the car also had video stuff to it, such as tachometer, fuel, temperature, and the volt gauge as well. The note says that it had a monkey bars custom made roll cage, but it was technically not used in the movie at all. In fact, it was never even seen with a roll cage in the movie in the first place. Along with that, the car also had uh, a, a green a gr- green it had a green neon underglow green neon underglow lighting kit from Auto Indulgence. So it had an auto indulgence green neon underglow lighting kit, and along with that, it had a sparkle pedal covers and shift knob. Next up, now we're moving on to the audio and video. The car had Alpine CVA. So for audio and video, the car had Alpine CVA 1005 head unit with both TV and DVD. So with both TV and DVD. The car also had Sony mids and tweeters. It had two Sony amplifiers and two 8-inch Sony, so two Sony 8-inch subwoofers and a custom and a and even had two Sony 8-inch subwoofers and a custom panel where the rear seats would used to be. Now let's move on to the performance stats, which are not really surprising. It had at the crank without NOS because it was fake 140 horsepower. So it's not much at all. And it wasn't even a 10-second car anyways. I mean, it is 0 to 60. I mean, it is 0 to 60 in, I mean, it is 0 to 60 in 8.9 seconds. Close to 10 seconds. Well, 9 seconds if you round it up. So 0 to 60 in 8.9 seconds. Most classic 70s, 80s Honda hatchbacks would kind of do that kind of speed, that kind of time is 0 to 60. So it had 140 horsepower at the crank without the NOS, It's 140 horsepower to the crank with no NOS because it was fake. 0 to 60 was done with 8.9 seconds. Uh, top so 0 to 60 was done with an 8.9 seconds. Quarter mile was done. Quarter mile was done in 16.4 seconds at 84 miles an hour. So the quarter mile is done in 16.4 seconds at 84 miles an hour. The top speed was 130 miles an hour. And all of this was done on 19-inch wheels with street tires. Not sure what the curb weight was. I'd say roughly around 1,300, maybe 1,200 kilos. I'd say 2,500 pounds, probably somewhere in there. I don't know. Next up, we got, last but certainly not the very least, we got is trivia. At least 5 stunt cars were created for the 95 Eclipse. One of them was used as a make-break vehicle. So at least at least 5 stunt cars were created for the 90. At least 5 stunt cars were created for the 95 Eclipse. According to the official movie guide, the Eclipse is a 95 model, so it's from 1995. Say 1995. The car was originally owned by John Lapid. When he bought it, it was dark green. He then painted it Mercedes silver. When Universal rented it from John, they painted it Kawasaki green. The car is now in a museum in Tennessee. May rest in peace, John. Your legacy will live on for generations. We miss you, buddy. On October 2nd, so very early October 2020, John Lapid passed away. Last part, and I'll end it there. So John Lapid passed away. Despite internet reports and the book by Eddie Paul, the car was not powered by a 4G63 engine. So it didn't even have a 4G63 inline 4 to begin with. It just had a terrible Chrysler 428. And it was not turbocharged, so it was just naturally aspirated, and it did not make 220 horsepower. I mean, I wish it would make that kind of power. It would kind of match its rival, the RX-7, because that was like the most powerful car of the 4-way race lineup, because that made like at least, I'd say, 240, 250 horsepower. So it's pretty quick for the race. Even though it's kind of like a 2JZ, which they used the sound of Brian Supra and some other like engines as well. I got no clue at all. Probably like some other 2JZs. I got no clue, but I think they used the 2JZ from Brian Supra. I'm not too sure about. Oh well. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you learn when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so that'll be it. I gotta go to sleep now because I am tired right now. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe, have a great evening, and have a great day tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys soon. In the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Good night.